Oh, hold on. Okay, let me see. Yo, what's up, guys? Same Game Freak here. Terrell here. Terrell Game Vlogs. Kind of just talking about another vlog. This is gonna be over just a few things going through my mind. Okay, and I'm hoping to upload this tonight, so this might help. The Shonen Jump, Show Your Love for Shonen Jump contest running. I'm in 4th place right now, which doesn't really do me any good because I had to hit either 1st or 2nd to even win anything. That competition is a lot tougher than what I originally thought it would be. And you know what's pissing me off more than anything right now? Because I can kind of accept the loss of losing in this. But what ticks me off is who is number 1 right now. Originally, I was number 1 I kept number 1 for like 2 days, and then after 2 days, people start sneaking up behind me. And the dude who's currently in 2nd place is the dude who beat me in number 1 like on the 3rd day. And he had like a cool collection and shit, so I didn't really mind. But first off, is a chick. There's a chick in number 1 place right now. Oh, see, this makes me mad that anime fans fall into the same line of bullshit that the rest of the society falls into when in terms of movie stars. It seems like you get popular votes if you have tits. Because essentially, and I'm not hating on the chick, more power to it. It just kind of irks me when I see people do like these kick-ass, pictures and shit. Pictures that are better than mine. There's one kid who fucking did a mosaic of himself by using manga volumes. And I hate it when we have people like that, and then we all lose to a chick who just did a Rangoku cosplay. Because that's all she did. The picture is literally half of her and half of a picture of Rangoku. And it's not like the two-face thing. No, it's like literally 2 separate pictures. Like she took a random Google picture off of Google Images of Rangoku, and it's next to her cosplaying as Rangoku. It's not like she's doing anything epic in the cosplay. It's not even a full body cosplay. It's like a half. You go and see up to her waist, but you can see the cleavage, and that's all you fucking need to see. So that one kind of bugs me. I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose to her off of that. And I have nothing against her. It's a moral thing. I don't like losing the fan service, especially if I'm gonna try at something. There's no way in hell I want to lose the fan service. So just kind of throwing out as a gimmick. If you want to vote for me, it's still going on until the 31st. And I don't want to lose to her. I really don't. It's like I don't have to win, but for the love of God, I'm not losing to fan service. I thought anime fans would be better than that. Damn it, that irks me. I don't like losing to that shit. Anyways, so we have that going on, and then we also, in terms of vlogging stuff, in terms of what I'm watching, I'll get into in a second. I want to talk about today, specifically. Today is Wednesday. Almost all the seasonal shit is finished airing. Bakuman ended Saturday, which this review that'll probably be up after this and then I gotta review Skate Dance tomorrow because I actually have to edit that. So which is the only thing I hated about the whole intro thing is the fact that I had to edit my videos, and for this channel, you guys know I don't really edit videos on this channel. But Bakuman ended. I'm not really gonna go into that because you've seen just to give you a prequel, I enjoyed the shit out of the ending, and you'll get the review. It should be late tonight or early tomorrow. Another ended. Brave 10 ended. Almost all the seasonal shit ended. Listen to Me, Girls, I'm Your Father ended. The reason why I say ended for that show is because supposedly that show is gonna have 26 episodes, meaning there's a possibility of either 2 OVAs and a 2nd season, but we don't know. But we think there's gonna be a 2nd season. I really hope there is because I fucking love that show. Just to say this, I haven't watched like the last 3 or 4 episodes of Another. Like, there's just been no sense of intrigue because the thing about Another, it just got boring and got kind of dull. So I just kind of didn't give a shit about the last few episodes. I haven't seen the last thing I saw was the whole outside of the school grounds death. You know, the kid that got famous in his own episode and then died at the end of it. That the sneezing fucker. No, not the car sick dude. That's the last thing I saw. The death of that nigga. The only thing I finished, the only ones I kept watching consecutively were the romance and the lolicon thing one. And personally, I prefer both of those motherfuckers. Listen to Me, Girls, I'm Your Father. Last episode was awesome because I had almost every emotion I wanted out of that fucking episode. The only thing that would have made it better is if Rika and Yuta had literally gotten married. I like the whole please be my wife. And obviously it wasn't meant in the way I wanted it to be meant, but for the love of God, I love that show. Also the fact they had to explain to a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old was explained to that her parents are dead. That I was just like, nah. Cause it would kills me, and it would kill me about it. Is she's so goddamn like mature about it. And I'm like, you're 3. You shouldn't be this mature about it. Cause she's talking to the bunny, like her little stuffed bunny. And she's like, I'm not going to cry anymore because everyone will worry if I cry. But she's obviously still sad. And I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry. Hina's a G. I think since I has the rights to it, I'm totally getting the DVDs. I'm totally getting the DVDs for fucking listening. That and Anonatsu de Matsu. I enjoyed the shit out of that ending too. And I think there's a reference to Please Teacher in it because like, there's a portion of the ending of Anonatsu de Matsu where, like, Ichika's being carried away by the fucking rescue pod. And, you hear this voice in the background talking about wanting to leave something behind and all this other shit. I'm thinking this is a correlation to Please Teacher, meaning eventually I gotta sit down and watch Please Teacher now. Because from what I hear, Please Teacher is supposedly better than this. Which that really wouldn't shock me purely just because this Anonatsu de Matsu is a really good show, but it's gonna be one of those shows kind of on the same level as like Infinite Stratos or Cat Planet Cuties or what was another show? A show that was meh in its sub but like really good in its dub. That's how I feel like Anonatsu de Matsu is going to be, because I mean I enjoyed it a lot. I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's probably going to be one of those shows where it's better as a dub than as a sub. And speaking of that, since those are really the two main shows I finished watching, because I think they're both licensed by Sentai, so I want my DVD release and I want a dub on both, damn it. Don't just give me a dub on Listen to Me, Girls, I'm Your Father. I want a fucking dub on my Waiting in the Summer. And I also like the ending where it's like you see Ichika in the outfit that his sister brought back for her, which automatically implies that she did come back. And because she looks the same, it's also implying that it wasn't that far away from each other. But then again, and the fucking Men in Black shit with Remen senpai, that shit was lowsy as fuck. It's like, we knew there was something with you, nigga. So it's like Remen is in the MIB. And then like Men in Black, and then like Tetsuro's sister's husband is also in the Men in Black. And I was like, son, you just had me rolling with that. Also like how the ending didn't have like fucking Tetsuro Mio just automatically going out. They had him where it's kind of like he's kind of working with Mio to see if he actually would fall in love with Mio, but it's not like forcing them to get together. And that's kind of what I liked about the show. The show was so blunt with its own emotions, and then the fact that, honestly, the bluntness is really it's probably one of its most defining features, if not the most defining feature. Also, I do like the character designs, and I think, I have a bias for Ichika. I know there's a Tanigawa x Kai fan base. I don't really give a shit about that. Ichika, Kai, all day. Tetsuro Mio, all day. I'm sorry. I've never been a fan of Tanigawa kind of characters. And Remon is a fucking troll and a fucking G. Oh my god. I love the ending. The ending kind of made me almost cry though. Like, both of these shows almost made me cry in the ending. Because the Hina shit was just sweet. And I love the Rika, please be my wife part of the episode, because that shit had me rolling, son. I want second season to be devoted to the whole lolicon or Rika situation because they don't really fully address it. But I do like the fact that at the end of the season they're in like they're in the old house. Like they've gotten, I guess I don't know if it's permission. I guess they own that house now. They moved into Yuri and their father's old house. So I hope there is a second season. Now to get into some DVD shit. I'm probably gonna ramble a little bit about Kenshin. So I'm gonna talk about Infinite Stratos first. I have watched Kenshin. I am all the way up to the Sanosuke versus, what's his name? Jabbar, is it Jabbar the Destroyer? Jidando? Is it Jidando the Destroyer fight? I'm in like the first half of it. Like like the last episode I saw was like was it? No, not last night. The night before, where he like does the same trick as he does, where he gets hit in the stomach and Sanosuke hits himself in the back to like cancel out the vibrations, and then on top of that he pulls his fist out and he sticks the nigga, and then the nigga gets up and you're just like, oh god, the fight isn't over. That's where I'm at. So that's that. But let's go into Infinite Stratos before I go into Kenshin, because Kenshin I might ramble on but for a little bit about. Infinite Stratos I've been hearing mixed things about. I watched the dub personally. I'm like 6 episodes into the dub. I personally enjoy the shit out of the dub. I actually prefer the dub to the sub, in my opinion. But I've been hearing a lot of shit about the dub because of really one thing. And that's the fact that they've actually tried to do the whole... because if anyone's watching Infinite Stratos, you have characters that say they're from Britain, France, Germany, China, and obviously you're in Japan. So what the Sentai dub essentially has, like the French person speaking English with a French accent, the German person speaking German with speaking English with a German accent. Essentially, they're speaking accents. The only one who isn't is Ren, who is from China, mainly because I don't think they knew how to do that, and they just said fuck it because it's Asian anyway. So I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. And a lot of people are mad at particularly Charles's voice, considering she is probably the most liked of the characters because she's the most developed, and I just fucking love her. A lot of people are mad because her voice isn't Moe. Now to me this is I can see the basis of what they're basing it on, but the problem with me is it's not even badly acted. That's what ticks me off. What they're mad about is that Charles it's actually Charles, but when he's saying it in French with the French accent, it's Charles. It doesn't sound girly enough or moe enough, which is such a bullshit argument. Because it's not like it's acted badly. You just don't like the tone of the voice. It's like because the thing is they did the same thing that the Japanese did, where they took a voice actor that could do boy and girl, had like a voice that could cross both barriers, like they kind of did with Homura / Kagure and Sekirei. It's the same thing. But the thing is, he doesn't sound as cute when he's speaking kind of with his girl connotations as if he was speaking as a male connotations. Because, like, honestly, I've only seen one, I just got, episode 6 just starts addressing the fact, it's just the whole Shaw's backstory and the whole French thing. So we just found out she was a girl from where I'm at in the dub. I don't know how much girlier his voice will get, but I know from what I heard, it's a fine voice. I didn't have a problem. I actually like the voice, except for the fact that it doesn't sound as girly. And it's not that big of a deal for me personally, because it's like, it's still girly enough to know that it's a girl. And it still works with the character. Like, I don't see, I think the overreaction with that whole voice bullshit was retarded. Everyone else's voice, I don't have a problem with. I think Cecilia, and the thing I do like, and I'll probably mention this in the review, the thing I do like about the voices in the dub is that it's not coming off as a I'm mocking the country it's from thing. It's coming off as if the person hailed from the country that they're from, but they learned English, so when they speak English, they have slight, nicks in their language. Like, they don't sound like, and a lot of people are like, they should have just had them speak English. I'm like, so what? You want a British girl and a Chinese girl and a German girl and a French girl to all sound the fucking same? Like, to all sound like they're just speaking English. That would have been kind of dumb to me. Especially when they have the opportunity to show off how good the voice actors have gotten. because the fucking voice actors are awesome. In my opinion, I think they did a really good job. I think the only thing I had a nitpick on was some bullshit with Charge, which really isn't that big of a deal because he doesn't sound moe enough, which is such a bullshit argument to me. And the fact that Hoagie's voice sounds nothing like I expected it to. Because Hoagie's voice sounds more tomboyish in the sub, but in the dub it sounds like it sounds more girly than anything. I didn't have a fucking problem though. I like Ichigo's voice better in the dub. Cecilia's voice is better in the dub. Ren's voice is better in the dub. It's about even. I never had a problem with her voice in either one. Laura's is pretty funny because she's German, and I like the German. We just got introduced to her, so I haven't heard too much of her voice yet. But I like her voice, and I'm enjoying the dub a lot more than the sub, like I thought I would. It's probably gonna be the same thing for Cat Planet Cuties, honestly. I think certain shows are just better in English, or better in the language you watch them in. That's just usually how that works. And friggin' Infinite Stratos is one of those shows, so the whole moe argument is such bullshit, but that's just me. Now to get into Kenshin. Holy shit. I have literally almost no complaints with this arc. In terms of Kyoto arc, I have almost no complaints with it. The only thing I could obviously complain about is the fact that when you're first introduced to Misao comes off a little bit annoying. But I think I was talking to Jay about it the other day, and I was just like, oh, you kind of get used to it. In terms of like my favorite shit right now, honestly, I thought one of the funniest things, and this is one of the funniest things I've heard in this arc, was the fucking point where like we're at that whole what's his name? When they first meet Shishio for the first time, but they're not in Kyoto yet, and they're helping that little boy out, and he wants to like defeat the guy who killed his parents and shit, and his brother, and like after everything's said and done, Saito's around. He's like, I'll let he can stay with my wife until we find a better home for him. And the female little Kenshin Misao's reaction is like, you have a wife? And he's like, and Kenshin and Misao having this conversation where it's like, there's no way he has a wife, man. She must be Buddha. It's like, and you know what pisses me off? I really wanted to see his wife after that scene, because I was like, no, you can't just mention that this dark-ass, evil-looking character who's a policeman has a fucking wife, and we don't get to see him. That was some bullshit, because I really wanted to see his wife after that. Oh, man. That shit had me rolling, son. It's just like, you have a wife? Also, Kenshin's master is kind of funny as fuck, too. What's his name? I know there's two versions of his name. I know Shishio's left-hand man is, like, Seijiro, and, like... No, his left-hand man is Sojiro, and Kenshin's master's name is Seijiro, if I got that right. I like him. He's pretty funny. I kind of like that. I'm looking forward to seeing the Shishio fight. Also, this is the only other thing. I don't think I've mentioned this to anyone yet. I think Shishio was kind of, at least as of right now, is kind of overhyped as a villain. As far as I am, I'm at the point where he just did that, where we just saw the loyalty of, like, I mean, I just told you where I'm at in terms of the episodes, but in terms of Shishio himself, the last thing I saw him do is him essentially carry out the plan that his subordinate, who actually proved its mettle, which I didn't expect them to do, so I give respect to that subordinate. He's carrying out that whole plan where he has like the strongest fighters fight Kenshin and Kenshin, Saito, and Sano, and then you have fucking the rest of them go attack the Oniwaban group based in Kyoto. And Okino just woke up and shit. I'm sorry. His hypeness is coming from what? Like, because he hasn't really done anything to be considered that much of a badass, in my opinion. Like, he seems badass, he seems evil, and all that other shit. Like, I'm not doubting his evil skills, but it's like, Kenshin was able to predict almost everything he was going to do. To the point where he actually just caught up to him, and Sanosuke fucked the boat up. Like, I was kind of like, wow. Like that kind of toned down his epicness with me, because off the bat he was cool, but right up until the point where Kenshin was like, well, he's gonna set a fire, but it's a distraction. Oh, it's a distraction? Let's go see what the distraction is. I'm like, I was kind of hoping for a double trap, and it wasn't. It was just a single trap. It was like, it was a fake out, but like, I thought Shisho would be smarter than that. It's like, and then what kills it is in like later on when they're on the boat, he's like, you think I wouldn't? It's like, listen, the way the reason why you're able to figure out what I was gonna do is because we're both manslayers. We think alike. We don't think, but that also means I can predict what you're about to do. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, Shishio, why in the flying fuck did you make it? Why in the flying fuck didn't you predict him figuring out that the fucking fire was a distraction? That kind of ticked me. I was like, really, Shishio? Like, really? I mean, it's not too much of irking, but I feel like that's some bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, you can't act like a badass and then say some shit like, well, it's like, it works both ways. You can predict what I'll do and you can predict what I'll do. And it's like, well, if that's the case, Shishio, being a badass villain, I would have expected you to, I don't know, predict that he would predict you using the fire as a distraction to fucking set off the boat explosion bullshit. And I'm just like, I don't know. That was kind of a disappointment in itself, because it's like, up until that point I had no issues with Shishio, but when he said, when that shit happened, I was like, nah, you crazy. Also, I love the fact that there's also a later scene I saw in some of the later episodes I really love, the fucking Kaoru Kenshin moment, and then Yahiko comes out of nowhere and hits Kaoru, and it's like, Kaoru, you're dicking around. like essentially, he pulls Kaoru to the side. He's like, Kaoru, you're dicking around. Just kiss him. Like, really. It's just like, I was like, son. That would have me rolling, because it was just like, it literally, he comes out of nowhere. He's just like, bah! And he's like, and Kaoru was like, Yahiko, what are you doing? And Johnny goes like, come here. All right, listen. I understand you and Kenshin having a moment, and I can respect that, but you're moving too fucking slow. Hurry the fuck up. Oh man, that one had me. I almost died off of that one. But for the most part, I'm loving the Kyoto arc, except for like the Shishio stuff and Misao's original annoyance, but she's gotten kind of better now. Also, just like how everything ties together. There's also another point I want to mention, like I kind of like how they're not like the whole basis, the whole plot line within the whole Kyoto arc about the whole the Meiji government is corrupt, but it's like Kenshin's like, well, I'm aware of that, but I don't want, but we're not just wasting a whole bunch of fucking people's lives for your sick sense of justice. And I kind of like that, because it kind of, I want to do this in a separate video, and honestly, but I'll just mention a little bit of it here. Like, I like that whole thing where it's like, you're not necessarily saying, oh, he's wrong and you're right. You're kind of just picking the lesser of two evils. It's like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're gonna build your world. And I also like the fact that like almost half of Shishio's henchmen don't even want to fucking kill him. Like, we may not want to kill him, but more along the lines, don't really follow everything that nigga says. So they seem more like individuals instead of just blind ass fucking. Instead of me getting the stereotypical, well, I'm following him for this reason, I'm following him for that reason, I'm following him for this reason. Like, instead of getting like 6 different reasons that still spell out supreme devotion, you get like a whole bunch of characters who are like, some of them want to kill him, some of them are only following up until they see what this leads to, and if they don't agree with it, they're gonna kill him or they're gonna go against him. I like that. I like that whole concept. But going back to the whole clashing ideas, I kind of like the whole lesser of two evils situation, where it's like, you're not necessarily picking a government that's necessarily better. You're picking a government that would lead to, you're kind of worrying about more of just people's deaths than anything else. You're worrying about the peace and stability of people's lives and families more than you're worrying about, oh, well, this government's corrupt and shit. And I kind of wanted to add something to it, but as I said, I'll save that for discussion. The only one thing I will say, though, is I like that because it made me think, and it made me really go under that whole nature that no matter what you do in this world, no matter what government we're under in this world, everything will always be corrupt. Period. Like, you just can't. Humans are corrupt we humans can be corrupt, and half of us are. Let's put it this way: there has to be a balance of good and evil, meaning the evil resides in every person. Meaning, if a government is built around, made by the people, for the people, there's gonna be a level of corruption within that. No matter, like, you can't avoid corrupt government. It's just something you can't do. No matter what type of government you do have. And that's what made it really, that's what I liked about it. It was like, it really made me start thinking about that. And kind of just basing it on the whole level of we're choosing the lesser of two evils. Would you rather have like a mild corrupt government, or just remake an entire government based on the fact that, well, we just need to play God and kill everything and then rebuild it? Because, you know, when I rebuild it on my bullshit corruption, that makes everything better. That's the shit that had me roll in my mind, but that's just me rambling. I guess the other thing I'll talk about is, I know this video is probably long, is I'm thinking about getting a new computer. This is kind of a mild rant. Me personally, I want a Dell. Here's the problem. I was not really happy about the fact that, like, literally almost every Dell you could get, you're going to spend at least almost $1,500 on. Purely based on the fact that a few things that I hate about Dell. First thing, none of the possible PCs you can buy with Dell they don't have bundles where it naturally comes with two things. One, a fucking monitor. It's like none of these computers come with monitors anymore. I have a laptop, but I don't want to or I have a TV, but I don't want to have to fucking plug my modem up well, I guess it is a modem. Is it a modem? No, yeah, a modem. I wouldn't have to plug my modem up just to use my computer. Like, I don't want my TV to become my computer. I didn't want that. I want a separate fucking monitor. And none of the bundles come with that shit. On top of which, they also don't come with fucking Microsoft Office. Like, they give you this bullshit starter kit that doesn't even have Word on it. But it's like, oh, no matter what kind of computer you get, you gotta pay extra for the Microsoft Office. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know, it just irks the shit out of me. And I hate that. Like, and just out of curiosity, what would be a good suggestion for having a good computer that would last a while? Because Dell's kind of bullshit, Sony's high as fuck, and so is Apple. Dell's like the best, and that's the cheapest. It's like the cheapest, best kind of computer. This computer is not necessary for gaming. It's just for, like, making videos, rendering shit, kind of just a fast ass computer. Because I'm a nigga, I'm not used to nice things. But that's just me. I don't know. Spring break is next week, so I'll have a lot more free time to do things. I still gotta work, but you know, I won't have to deal with the fucking school work bullshit that I've been dealing with like all this week. In terms of future things I will be talking about in terms of anime and manga, I guess. Oh yeah, just to talk about the spring season a little bit. Spring? Is it? Yeah, spring 2012, which is the next one. The only thing I honestly think I'm going to be watching is Koryu wa Zombie Desuka Season 2. Like, literally, nothing else is interesting me. Period. So, for those who wanted any thoughts on that, I wasn't going to make a separate video on that, because this is literally all I'm watching. I've looked at everything else. That's really all I'm watching. If I see something else that intrigues me, you know, I'll mention it in the video. But as of right now, the only thing I'm watching is Koryu wa Zombie Desuka Season 2, which is fine with me, personally, because you know, it's kind of a hassle to keep up with a shit ton of things. I mean, I still gotta keep up with One Piece, Naruto. I was like, oh, Bleach ended. It's like, well, that doesn't affect me because I don't watch the Bleach anime. And I think Beelzebub ended, but you know, fuck Beelzebub. I like how Beelzebub only got to 60 episodes, which I'm assuming those ratings probably were shit, and I can see why. Because Beelzebub isn't that interesting, but I don't know. That's just me. I also like the fact that Z did one of his it's not really new videos, but it's one of his newer videos, the whole Zatchbell comparison. I kind of agree with Sam in the sense that the only Zatchbell comparison you can really make is that you have like a guy and the baby, like the little kid character and the guy character, and the fact that he has some relatable abilities, but not really anything else. Because I still think Zatchbell beats the shit out of Beelzebub. Just saying. And from what Z mentioned, it was like, apparently it goes into like some bullshit rescue arc about Hilda, and apparently it's like Bobo where it like oversaturates the comedy in its shonen aspect. Because it seems like almost a lot of shonens are doing that whole comedy mixed with shonen. I think Gintama is the only one that should be able to do that. Because apparently Beelzebub kind of fucked it over. But anyways, I'm kind of just rambling on. But yeah, this is my long ass vlog. What I'm about to do is I'm about to go edit and render the fuck out of that Bakuman review. This will probably be uploading while that's going on. And I'm probably going to either try to... I got like 12 or 16 episodes left of Kyoto. Like I'm like either halfway through Kyoto arc or near the end of it. And Infinite Stratos had like 6 episodes. So, but it has an OVA too. So what I might do is I might just go through Kenshin. Well no, I watched Kenshin last night. I'll go through Infinite Stratos and then I'll go back to Kenshin. That's what I've been doing. I've been kind of going back and forth. But anyways, this has been the boss again for your boy Terrell. Thoughts, comments, voting for Shonen Love, Shonen Jump Love and shit. So anyways, tell me what you guys think and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.